Hi guys, it's Jill here. Welcome to the little series that I like to call New to Wigs. Now in this segment, we are going to go over how I wash my wigs. Now this has been quite the learning experience for me. You know, I've only been doing this since March. This has been a pretty new thing with me as well, and I have learned a lot. And this was my second huge kind of aha turning point for me in this wig journey. My first one was discovering the It Stays. This has saved my wigs so much. So I am also, however, going to be doing an experiment this time. I'm going to be doing something I haven't done, and I'll tell you why we're going to do that. So this will be kind of, we're sharing this experience together kind of thing. So washing your wigs. How I started when I was brand new, you know, I went and bought the John Renault shampoo and the conditioning spray and the HD detangler. It came in a kit, and that's how I took care of my wigs. Now I also have a well. We are on a well here, which is very hard water, a lot of minerals. It is really rough on just about everything. However, I love being on a well and I love the taste of well water, but nonetheless, I really do think that it's not the best for my wig fibers, and I have been meaning to get a bunch of distilled water, and every time I'm at the store I never remember, so have yet to do that. But since I have switched from not using any kind of shampoo at all to giving them a fabric softener bath, I haven't had any problems. Now it'd probably be better if I did use the distilled water even with that process, and I do plan on it, you know. So anyway, that is what I decided to do. So I decided, yeah, I'm gonna try to do this, and huge difference. So I did several like that, and it was so like night and day. My fibers turned back to where they were when I first bought them. I kid you not. I'm not exaggerating. They turned out so soft. I mean, you probably, if you watch any of my videos, you probably have seen me talk about this and what a huge turning point that was for me in my mindset of wigs and all of it. So that was fantastic. But now I have put off washing my upstage for as long as I can. That is a 100% hand-tied wig, and I think that's why it holds on to the smells more than any of my other wigs. I really don't get maybe I don't wear them as long as maybe I should, but I feel like I put off washing them for a pretty long time. But that one definitely, it needed to be washed. You know, they don't breathe as well as those machine wefted cap constructions do. And so I did my regular Downy soak, and she turned out beautiful. The fibers are soft. I think I do need to trim some ends off her, but it still had kind of that I need to wash it kind of smell. Now what I will do is put some dry shampoo kind of real quick in the cap area, but I thought, you know what, eventually I'm gonna need to actually use something to wash her. So, because really the Downy fabric softener is a conditioning phase for the wigs, a conditioning rinse, even though I don't rinse it out. And my other wigs, I just haven't had a problem with smells or anything, but the 100% hand-tied wigs, I think you will find, do tend to kind of hold all of that in a little more. So that's what prompted me to do this experiment. So obviously you're gonna need the wig that you're gonna wash, and you're going to need your fabric softener. Now I use the Downy. This is the Free and Gentle. It's just the one that we use as a family. You know, it doesn't have any perfumes and things that could irritate the skin. We've never had any problems with it, so we just stick to this one. So that's what I use. And what I'm going to use this time to wash the wig is going to be the Woolite. I just bought this today. I thought, what is the most gentle thing I could possibly use? Some people say baby shampoo. Well, have you looked at the ingredients of baby shampoo? I guess it would depend on what brand, but if I think they actually said they get Johnson & Johnson, and it works great for them. But let me tell you, me being an ingredient hound, you know, and an esthetician that's really kind of dialed into that kind of thing, there are sulfates like crazy. I thought, nah. So I decided to do the Woolite. This is for delicates. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not going to use much. I'm only going to soak it for 10 minutes and rinse it super, super well. So the other thing you're going to need, guys, is a drying rack. These are very inexpensive. You can get these, again, from any kind of wig site, Sister Wigs, Wigs by Patty's Pearls. You can probably even find these on Amazon. I just like supporting the little wig companies as much as I can, you know, and so, but here's how they'll come to you. They're real easy, super easy. They're really easy to come apart. Okay. So yeah, they come like this, completely flat. And all you have to do is just put that in there and then get this top one hooked up. And then to keep it from not kind of going, you know, unstable, you put this little ring here and snap it in. And then it's perfect. So the reason why you need something like this is because you want the wig to, you know, kind of hold its shape a little bit. But the main thing is you want the air to be able to get under it, and it'll dry very, very quickly with one of these. A lot of people, especially if it's like, I'm really wondering, but I grabbed my Kona. I know you're thinking, gosh, Jill, it's so early to wash her. We helped my daughter move, was it last weekend, from her apartment. I sweated so much in this wig. I wore her for 2 straight days. It was like 90-something degrees. Believe me, she needs to be washed. So anyway, you know, wigs that have some kind of curl pattern, a lot of times people will take them and let them dry upside down. That way, you know, the fibers kind of are separated, and then it's just, that's what I've heard, is that it's a good idea to do that with wigs that have kind of a curl pattern to them. However, some people like to dry their medium to longer length wigs upside down. It gives them more body when they're dry and they're not so dried, you know, flat to the cap. I'm going to do that the next time with my upstage, because that one doesn't have a whole lot of body because it is 100% hand tied. It's not like my Elizabeth, which is also 100% hand tied, but Elizabeth for some reason just has more body. Anyway, I dried it, you know, on one of these dryer racks, and yeah. So next time I think I will actually dry the medium length wigs upside down and see what happens when I do that. I don't have any long wigs right now. But I'll get some, I'm sure. So you're going to need the wig you're going to wash, or wigs, your dryer rack, your fabric softener, your whatever you decide that you're going to wash your wig in. You're going to need your wide tooth comb here. This is John Renault. You don't have to buy a John Renault wig to get one of these. You can buy them separately. They're very inexpensive. I want to say $5 or something. You're going to want to get or use at least something with a very wide you know, tooth situation there. You're going to need a towel of which to kind of carefully pat out the excess water of your wig in. And I think that's it. Let's get going on this. All right, so before we immerse the wig in the water, we have to make sure there are no tangles in this. So we're very, very gently going to comb through her with the John Renault comb here. So you always want to start at the bottom of your wig. Anytime that you're combing her out, you should comb her out every time you take her off for the day, and always start at the bottom and work your way really gently to the top of the wig. And that is what we are going to do. Just want to be gentle. Now Kona is an HD fiber wig, and HD fibers, as you know, are definitely a lot more delicate than the regular synthetic fibers. So keep that in mind if you are, you know, dealing with an HD fibered, heat-friendly fiber wig. You definitely want to be extra gentle. Okay. She is all combed out and ready to immerse in the water. All right, guys, so here is my sink. Now, I use the large side. This is a pretty big sink, just to give you guys some perspective here. I don't really think it matters so much. Don't get hung up. I don't measure my water out to like a gallon per, you know, capful kind of thing. I definitely don't do that. But I want my water to get very, very cold. And then we're just going to go ahead and start filling up the sink. So we got the Woolite over here. Again, this is that one for delicate. And once I got some water down here, so this just doesn't kind of stick to the bottom of the sink, I am just going to eye this. And I'm going to just kind of suds it up. I probably put too much in. It smells good. So if you're going to be washing more than one wig, you're going to want to empty out the sink when you're done. Do everything fresh and new. Don't wash a wig and then put another wig in the water. You're going to want to start with clean water, whether you're going to wash, do with a fabric softener bath, whatever. You want clean, fresh every single time. So I'm going to have to do this one-handed. I didn't think about the fact that it would be nice if I had a camera person doing this. So I'm just going to really carefully just immerse the wig into the water. Immersing. And then what I do, I usually do this of course with two hands, is I take it and I just really carefully just kind of dredge it back and forth in the water, and just I'm not really moving the fibers around at all, just really gently letting it kind of go back and forth in the water. Now here's a chance where you can, without kind of getting those fibers too all over the place, you can get that lace front. Let me find discombobulated here. Here it is. And, you know, if you wear makeup or whatever, you can just kind of really gently make sure that you kind of get that makeup out of the lace. Just really gently moving it around between your fingers. Checking the nape area. Just make sure that if you have any, it stays, that it's just really gently being brushed away with your finger. Okay, and that's all. We're gonna let Kona hang out here for 10 minutes and then we're gonna rinse her off really well. Okay, it's been 10 minutes, got my cold water running. So I'm gonna pick up Kona here and I'm just going to rinse her out really well. Again, I am not, I do like kind of trying to find kind of that front area and really get the fibers in the direction they're kind of meant to be. So we're rinsing. Make sure you get the cap. Again, this is hard. I'm doing this with one hand here. But I can't stress how important it is to make sure that you rinse it really well. Sorry that maybe this angle isn't the best. Yeah, I'm not moving the fibers around. I'm not, squeezing. I'm not twisting the hair, anything. I'm just literally making sure that the water is getting everywhere it needs to. All right. Look at the water. I mean, that's pretty dirty. Okay. I'm going to do this only because it's hard to do with one hand. I just want to make sure I got the ends really well. All right, now, because we're going to put her right in the conditioning fabric softener bath, I'm just going to kind of let her sit here for a moment. I'm going to drain this water out, rinse the sink, get any of the Woolite residue and whatnot out of the sink completely. We're going to put cold water, fresh cold water back into the sink, and I am going to add 1 full cap. I already have it poured here. 1 full cap of the Downy fabric softener to the water. So let's rinse this out really well. I just don't want any kind of Woolite in there. Oh, darn it, my little... As you can see, I need a new faucet. Okay, I think that's good. All right, so we're going to fill this sink up just the same. When it gets enough water in there, I'm going to put my cap full of my fabric softener in. And again, this is definitely kind of a bigger, sink. My cap of my Downy, I definitely do 1 full cap into the water. I'm going to kind of mush that around, get it distributed. And let it fill up. So here she is after she was soaked in that Woolite. Again, this is very cold water. Very cold water. And I just kind of want to just let her hang out here. I'm not messing with the fibers. I'm definitely just letting them float there really gently. All right, so I don't fill the sink all the way to the top. Hopefully you can see where that water line is. This is about how I do it every time. So again, I'm going to let her soak in there for about 10 to 13 minutes and we will return. So guys, I just took her out of the bath of fabric softener. I did not rinse it out. I almost did and forgot, but I didn't. And then you're gonna start over there at the sink. You're gonna wanna just really gently start at the top and squeeze the excess water out. Okay, you don't wanna twist it. You don't wanna wring it out. You wanna be really careful with these fibers. And you're gonna just do this a couple times until you get the most of that water out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it outside. I'm not going to take you guys out there with me, but I'm going to take it outside and I'm going to hold it by the nape area because that's the strongest part. And I am going to just whip it really hard a few times just to get most of that water out. And then I'm going to come back inside. So I'm going to go do that right now. Okay, so I did that. And really nothing's dripping out of here at all. But the next thing I'm going to do, this is upside down. And like I said and mentioned, you actually can dry your wigs upside down, the medium to longer length ones. So now, I don't know if you can see this really well. I tried really hard to make it so this is the best I can do, unfortunately. So then I lay it in the towel, on the towel, and then I'm just gonna fold the wig carefully kind of in it, and I'm just gonna press it. Now again, I'm not twisting it or anything. I'm just pressing out the extra water that might be in there. Now we are not going to comb out this wig at all. Not when it's wet like this. Okay? So I'm just gonna kind of do this, and really that's about it. Now again, you could technically try to dry this upside down. I'm gonna put mine on my little dryer rack. Now see how there's these little spaces in between? Make sure that you put your lace front in one of these areas, because one time I didn't pay attention, not when I was drying it, but just storing it. And I actually put the lace front in one of these little areas here, and it made my lace front buckle right there. And it kind of still wants to do that, even though that was a while back. So be careful. You want to position your lace front right there in the front. I kind of take my finger so I know where it is. And you just don't want to mess with this really while it's wet. You're going to set this out, let it dry completely. Now your hand-tied wig caps, they're going to take a little bit longer. The machine wefted ones, they don't take long at all. To be honest, I was really surprised at the length of, even when I washed my Elizabeth for the first time, it dried pretty darn quickly. So I'm going to set this outside. It's about 7:30 at night. It's really a nice, perfect temperature, and let her stay out there for a little while. And I bet it's only going to take her just maybe an hour or two before she's dry.
All right, guys, so this is Kona after she has had her bath. I experimented and used Woolite for the first time. I needed to figure out a way that I could actually use something that would wash, you know, kind of clean the wig, and then the Downy fabric softener to be used more as a conditioning bath. I, of course, did rinse the Woolite out. I mean, rinsed and rinsed and rinsed and rinsed. I did not rinse the Downy out. I use that as kind of a stain conditioner, and it works so well, you guys. I know, you know, this totally makes sense if you think about it. These wigs, these are synthetic wigs. I have synthetic wigs, but this is not a human hair wig. They're synthetic fibers, and therefore they are more like fabric than they are, you know, human hair. So it makes sense, and it totally makes sense to use products really that are geared more to that than hair, you know, if it were actually human hair. She turned out beautifully, thank goodness. I was really afraid. I think I did put a little too much Woolite in, but it ended up being fine. I just rinsed it really well. She's shiny. Those fibers are very soft all the way to the ends. This is an HD fiber. It's a heat-friendly fiber, so you got to be really gentle of those very, you know, the ends there. They're usually the first that's going to break down. That goes for really a non-HD fiber as well. And so I haven't really combed through this, but now that it's completely dry, you can totally, it's completely safe to lightly, very gently comb through her. So I'm going to do that now, and I've got to put this down to do that, and I will be right back. I'm just so pleased that the Woolite did not, you know, make her like straw, like what happened to my Straight Up with Twist wig when I washed her with John Renault's shampoo. So yes, this is a winner. This is the way to go. I'm telling you. Don't use regular shampoo on synthetic fibers. This is the lesson I've learned the hard way. However, soaking my Straight Up with a Twist in the Downy saved that wig, and I am able to wear the wig again. It does need a little tiny bit of trimming, but she was unwearable, guys, before I decided to try the Downy situation. Works fantastic. So, yep, these fibers are shiny and really, really beautiful. So soft. Really soft. So my advice, and through trial and error, I would say it's not necessary to wash your wigs in synthetic shampoos. I say go this route because I have done both. Now I do have well water, but I can testify that even with well water, this works fabulously. Okay guys, until next time, stay young at heart. Bye-bye.